Hey everyone, we are still in Florida, but it's day 11 and today's first stop is at Time Trap Escape Room. Who's this little buddy next to me? He's so cute. And there's plenty of parking right outside. Shall we go inside and check them out? Let's go.
What's poppin' and unlocking, everybody? It is Brandon from Escape the Rumors. We are in Port Richey, Florida. Is that correct? Or?
Wait, no. We got to start this off right. We're in New Port Richey, Florida.
So this is the newer Port Richey.
New Port Richey, Florida is older than Port Richey, Florida, but you are in New Port Richey, Florida, which is the old version of Port Richey, which is new. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to write that one down. But thank you for updating me on that. I now have a little bit more of knowledge inside this skeleton right here.
A little local history.
But we are at Time Trap Escape Room in Newport Richey, Florida, and we're going to try two of their games today. But before we do so, we're going to get to know the owners a little bit better. We have Kim and we have Jeremy. How are you both doing today?
Terrific. We're doing terrific today.
Okay. We have this set up like it's like a game show, so we're
There
going to see. No buzzers, just... All right, so the first question we want to ask you is how many games do you have available to the public right now?
Right now we have 3. We have the box, we have the Cooperative Episode 1 and Cooperative Episode 2.
Ooh.
We usually change out our games about once a year, and every year we've done a unique Christmas room, which we will be opening up in about a week.
That's the fourth room, or you're swapping a room?
We swap out, so every year we swap one, we rotate one out.
Oh, okay. And I believe we're trying the box and the second one or the first one?
You're doing the box today and the Cooperative, the CYCLIST'S LAB, which is the first episode.
All right, very cool. So the next thing we want to know is which one of your games is the most popular that players are booking more frequently?
That's an impossible question because for enthusiasts like you, the box is just so radically different than what's out there, and we built it that way. There's no storyline. It's dark. I summarize it. It's like Seinfeld of escape rooms, right? Seinfeld was amazingly popular,
right?
But it had no point,
right?
So this is
it's a show about nothing.
Right.
Like there is nothing like being pulled from anywhere. It's whatever happens.
It's what's in there, and it's simple and hard all at the same time. So for our enthusiast groups, we always want them to play the box because it's so different. But for our mid players and definitely for our new timers, a more traditional experience, which we've spent 3 years making sure that every detail continues to develop, is the Cooperative 1, the lab. As far as gross sales go, the Cooperative Episode 1 in general is our best selling, but the box we theme up for Halloween, and so that kind of brings in a new crowd. So we have 2 that we're we're proud of all of them, but 2 that kind of go between skill levels. So we're very proud of that.
Right. So if a new player or a new beginner player was to come in and say, which game should I try? Would it be the Cooperative 1 or?
Yes, typically I'll recommend the Cooperative 1, although some people really like a dark and creepy room. So if that's up their alley, that's also a possibility.
Right. Like date night? Like, hey.
Correct.
Right.
Correct, that happens, right? And
honestly,
here, even though we have a lot of escape rooms in the area, about 50% of the players that walk in our door are new to escape room.
Oh, okay.
Still, yeah.
Cool. And you guys build everything in-house, like set design, puzzle design, that's all you?
Every single
Every
screw
detail.
that you see, every screw, and we write them all ourselves. We argue over them over and over. We tweak them. Everything that you're going to see here came from our ideas. Good or bad, they all came from us.
Okay. What is an obstacle you faced while creating? It could be the puzzle, the set, whatever that you needed to get by or figure out.
All of them at one time or another.
Creating's a fun process. I mean, it's part of creating is the patience to sit back and let the ideas develop and let the puzzles develop. and then to have to avoid the the ego and say, you know what, this isn't working, we're going to toss this, we're going to move that. Thorough testers of all skill levels. From a creation and build perspective, that's not nearly anywhere near some of the frustrations of the economic pressures that have been pulling from side to side from the operations perspective. And one of the challenges is you guys are playing some excellent rooms. You're playing one today that you can talk about later, and some of them in Tampa, and I'm sure New York. I mean, they're like Broadway plays. They are just, the sets are amazing, and the money that is spent on creating these immersions, and we're more like this community theater version. Still an exciting place to go, but we're not dealing with a Hollywood budget, so that is certainly a challenge to make sure that we stay within our budget and on every creation that we do.
But still put out great puzzles that people enjoy playing.
Right.
And I think we've done that.
I hope so.
Yes.
We'll find out at the conclusion of this video.
And then the next thing we want to know is, I know this is going to be very hard for the both of you, preferably give separate answers. If it's the same answer, great. But I'm going to ask you to pick which is your favorite child. Which one of your 3 rooms is your favorite room?
The box.
Okay.
It's the box.
All right, unanimous decision.
It started the whole thing.
Yeah.
So it was the first room we've ever built. We've done about 15 builds now, between 3 locations. We actually owned other locations prior to COVID. But it's still, even though we've done all those different builds, with almost all successful, we've trashed a few, but the box is still our favorite room.
All right. So if you haven't noticed, we're in a different location. Where are we right now?
We're in the Cooperative episode 2, the shop.
The shop, okay. Can't tell, we got a car parked right behind us. We'll have to come back for this one because after we play 1, we're definitely probably going to be curious about what 2 is like. But before we do that, let's keep going with what we want to find out from Kim and Jeremy. And this one, I know you've seen a lot of players in the room while you're game mastering or seeing them on the camera. What is something that they did that stood out, that was like memorable, that just kind of sticks out in your head?
So I don't know if you noticed, but we have people sign our doors when they complete a room, and then we repaint them and take a picture of them and put the poster on.
Right.
But when you walk out before you leave, there's a dinosaur on the bottom of our door, and that's by little 5-year-old Logan. So last year during Christmas, Logan had a really tough game with his parents. He didn't want to be here. The Christmas lights kind of held his attention for maybe 3 minutes. His parents were trying so hard to get him engaged, or at least just keep him occupied.
Right.
He came out crying, "This was awful, Mom, this was awful." And I said, "Well, Logan, do you want to draw a picture on the door?" And he drew a dinosaur. And he walked out and he said, "Mom, this is the best thing in the world. I got to draw a dinosaur on the door." And so it's Logan's dinosaur on the door, and it's my favorite thing that we have here.
Wow.
It's very large, and you'll get to see it on the way.
I don't quite know that it looks like a dinosaur, but you know what? Logan loved it, so.
Hey, it's the artist's perspective.
It was.
Right?
So for me, that was one of the most memorable. I mean, we've had a lot of memorable moments.
Yeah.
For me, that was one of the most positive memories because it was so cute.
Kim, do you have another one, or is that one that stood out for you as well?
That is one that stood out for me as well. Of course, as other owners can tell you, we see all kinds of things in the escape rooms. People being silly, people being destructive, all kinds of crazy stuff. The way that they forget about the camera. As players, we often do as well as we get immersed into the game and the things they say, and just how the people interact with each other.
Yeah, it's like you totally forget someone's watching you. Or listening to you.
Yes.
And it sounds like you play escape rooms. When you have time, you get out there and play escape rooms. What is one that stood out for you? A company in the game, it doesn't have to be a favorite, maybe one you want to give a shout out to.
Yeah, so the one that was going to hit our target first, just because it's so good, you guys are playing this afternoon. So we're not going to go there. There's another one out, the one that I just want to mention briefly. We really enjoyed a scapegoat out of Winter Garden. But recently we were asked to test, it's called the Riddler up in the Villages. And they have 2 rooms, they have 3 rooms, but 2 rooms up there. One's called the Pet Shop, which was just a whole kind of cool spin that the owner Dan put together. And then they had Land of the Lost. We thought was a very well done traditional escape room. It's in the Villages, so it's a little outside most people's travel zone.
Okay.
But we found them both to just be very, very good. So
wow.
If we're going to do one shout out, I think it would be to the Riddler, and then our second shout out would be a scapegoat. And that's, I mean, we've played a lot of good games around the country where we haven't done
Not
the
as many as you.
not as many as you, but we plan our vacations around escape rooms.
So do we.
We're one of those. Yep, we're one of those.
Like, where are you going? I gotta figure out which escape rooms are available first.
Not sure the city, but the name of the escape room is, that's kind of how we plan
I
our.
think also important about those two locations is not only were they great games, which is so important, but great customer service and great game mastering, which, as everybody knows in this industry, can make or break your experience.
You're totally 100% right about that. The last thing we want to know is, because we want to get to know you two a little bit better, what is something that most people don't know about you outside of time trap?
That's you.
Talent, a hobby, or something you do?
Well, a couple interesting things is before we became involved in escape rooms, Jeremy is a family law attorney and I'm a corporate accountant.
Okay.
But probably more interestingly, other than the fact that most of our spare time is either building or playing escape rooms, we're also pro-certified barbecue judges in Florida. So we travel around to different festivals and are able to sample and judge barbecue.
You are living the dream. Escape rooms and barbecue judging. What is going on?
Good life.
Yes. Okay.
We get to eat some of the most jaw-dropping, absolute best barbecue that you have ever seen. Not only are the barbecues world class, one of them was the Jack Daniel's series on ESPN.
Oh yeah, I heard
But
about
not
that.
only that, but the stuff they sell you is their B rate. The stuff we got to eat was on a whole new level.
Wow.
Yes.
What is your what do you look for? I'm like, we're getting off topic. We're getting into food now.
Yeah.
What do you look for in terms of like quality, that would be at the top of your scale? Like, what do you look for when you're tasting?
Taste, tenderness, and presentation is what it's all about. And there's actually a particular scoring system that is used. It's an official association, and you receive training on how to do it. On how to score those things. So.
What I'll tell you now, going to restaurants, if there's a piece of barbecue and it needs sauce, it's not worth it. It's just not. If I got to put sauce on it to make it taste good, no.
Right.
No.
We got a little spoiled in this.
Yeah, we did.
So is it like spicy barbecue, regular barbecue? Can you take spice? Like, are you?
Yeah, it's all kinds. People are able to use it. They make their own rubs and sauces and different things that they utilize with them.
So you can eat spicy.
Yeah, but Florida's not really a spicy barbecue region. So it's not your Texas or your Memphis or your North Carolina, South Carolina. Florida's got its own little kind of sweet little flavor to it that's kind of permeated through the state in these barbecue contests. So it's kind of cool how different areas that you go, but
they have their own interpretation of what barbecue is.
Yeah, but you know how you put a piece of ice cream in your mouth and you're like, I'm just gonna savor that vanilla.
Cece usually says no. She says I inhale my food, so I.
Yeah, and so do I. I'm usually ordering dessert before people get their meal, but this stuff, it just melts.
Yeah.
It's just.
Well, this has turned into Escape the Foodies.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you so much for having us. Thank you so much for sharing that information for us to get to know you and Time Trap a little bit better. You guys need to check out our website, ESCAPETHEROOMers.com. You'll know what we thought of the box and the Cooperative One, which is the Cooperative One. Full title is
CYCLIST'S LAB.
CYCLIST'S LAB. And in fact, you guys should like and subscribe our YouTube channel because we're giving you sneak peeks inside of the parking lot, the waiting area, even inside some of the rooms like this one. But more importantly, we're going to give you a trailer of both rooms right now.
for me to move. Time is running out, gotta figure something out.